then I think for me, that's toxic femininity as well. You want your man to be this all strong. He can only be that if you give him room to release the stuff inside emotionally that is causing him to not even function the way he should. Anything that you keep inside emotionally will eventually come out physically. It's the same way when you're sad, you cry. That happens with stress, anxiety, anger. It has to come out. It expresses itself. You would rather that that man comes to you and verbalizes it so that you can find ways to help him maneuver these emotions. It doesn't mean you'll have the answer, but to know that I have somebody to go through this with me, my ride or die, is so valuable in a relationship. But I think that in the same breath, a man who can express his feelings is a man who can receive your feelings in a healthy way. If he can't express his, he won't be able to hear yours either, because that's not something he's used to.
Deep. Papa,
mais au lieu de nous ramener des go comme ça à la maison, tu nous ramènes tous tes psychopathes, idiotes. Là, moi, je m'en vais. Vraiment, c'est
No, mais bon, écoute, tu sais, but this is actually interesting what you're saying. I think, and I believe we meet people, whether they be intimate or just, you know, as friends, when we are ready to meet them. And I have to say, I've always been blessed with very, very, very strong and positive and good women. Like I mean, friends, inspirations, etc. No, this I can definitely say that for sure I have been blessed. But it's true that indeed sometimes you see. I know what you mean, Kay, but you know when you are the type of men that I am, will have a tendency to attract women who are wounded and who are needing some sort of support.
You know, okay,
go ahead. Vas-y. Hey, papa, balancez.
Je vais balancer, attention, je suis la voix de la corruption. La voix de ta conscience va parler.
En attendant, my internet is shitty. I mean, my camera is really shitty. I have to say,
bro,
damn.
We need to save money. We need to set up a fund, send money to the PayPal in there so we can buy a camera.
Bro, y'all send some money on the PayPal. By the way, talking about that, please support. Make sure you go follow Nathalie. I posted her link tree in the YouTube. Go check her out. Nathalie, you got a PayPal? Do you have a PayPal?
You know what? I'm actually going to put one because everybody keeps telling me that, but I always feel a way about it. Like, how? Like what? But genuinely, I would get so much done if I had a PayPal. Because God, I need you to send me
that. You know. I went through what Boddhi went through as well, which is I would call it the Pygmalion syndrome, where you start believing yourself that you are an angel that has been sent by God to heal the wounded. And you will find all types of crazy women that will tell you the story of how they got this, that, and this happened. My dad was like this, my mom was like this, or this, and this happened to me, and that happened to me, and I didn't have sex for 5 years because I'm so whatever, and then it will put you in kind of a daddy mode. And you're like, oh, listen, I'm going to show you the real love, true love.
Je vais te montrer l'amour, chérie.
Come under my wing. Viens sous mon aile sentir le vertige de l'amour. This is a mistake that I used to do. I remember I was single for a long time, and I was just hopping around from flower to flower. And it was 2000, and I think it was December 31st, 2008. And I was like, I just spent the day with these girl, and that just after having sex with me, she calls her boyfriend to have a to have an argument and be jealous. Yeah, who you are? Who's that bitch? And me, I'm just watching her like naked, vaginas still fuming, and she's there like yelling to her boyfriend like, and me, I'm just I'm just watching, and I'm just like, I'm feeling used, like I'm feeling like I'm done, like, and I'm just like, I'm done. And I remember after that, she looks at me and she's like, oh, you said, yeah, I think it's better you go, and you go. And then, and at that moment, I'm just done being, I'm just like hearing in my head, don't want to be a player no more. And I'm just like, I'm just done. And I remember being, it's 10 or 11 p.m. and I'm just alone at home in Paris. And I'm just there watching TV, watching the stupid television shows that they have on New Year's Eve. And one of my best friends, Elisha, calls me. He's like, yo, bro, like, so what you doing? I'm like, I'm home. But what you gonna do? I'm gonna stay home. And like, nah, bro, come on. Like, yo, it's the new year. We have to go party. Blah, 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 blah. I just start going to this party. I go to this party.
Not to cut you, Papa. Kiara says you guys are captains of a whole energy.
Exactly. So, but wait, listen, Kiara, listen to this story. That's how I stopped. I removed that cape that day. So we end up going to this party. I think it was a Cap Virgin party. So we hear lots of nice girls, lots of guys shows, and we are in the backstage. So they put us in a VIP area backstage. There's like tons of people. There's a show going on, and we just there backstage, and people are telling me, "Yo, come on, it's the new year. Like, ain't you gonna go celebrate?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna just chill backstage and just drink my juice, and I'm okay." And everybody here is looking for a girl to start the year with, and like, so all the boys are going everywhere. You see all the girls. You see, like, you know that energy, right? And me, I'm just done. I'm like, yeah, I'm just. And there's one girl, beautiful, and she's just there as well, minding her own business. And me, I'm like. And I'm like, at a point, I look at her and I'm like, so you're not gonna go party, dance with people? And she's like, nah, I'm not into that. Like, I'm not in those. I don't like this energy. And I'm like, I'm so now I'm we're just having the conversation, and so she's like, so, and what about you? You don't dance? Like, why don't you go dance? Like, you can get anybody you like. You're a famous guy. And me, I'm like, yeah, sometimes it's great to just chill and do nothing. And so we just stay there. We spent the whole night talking, and amazing vibe. Then she introduced me to her cousin. So we exchanged number. I tell my best friend, bro, tomorrow you're sacrificing yourself. We are going to the movies.
You're taking one for the team.
Oh, you're taking one for the team. You're going to be, and well, the cousin was very nice as well. But
okay, safe.
And so now we are. So a few months before, I remember seeing a nice girl in a club, but I found her once and I never talked to her again. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I didn't go out for 4 months. I was like, yeah, how come? Well, I'm not into these things. Oh, absent numéro 2. Like, no, me, I don't like going out. And last time I went out was 4 months ago. There was too much people. I didn't like it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So where did you go? She tells me she was at that party like this. And I was like, wait a minute, were you dressed in white like this? And she's, yeah, why? Oh my God, you're the girl that in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's the girl that I saw 4 months ago. And then I was looking for everywhere. Oh, and now I'm like, oh my, and now you start going to the esoteric thing. You start linking this to God. You're like, oh my God, it's destiny. She's been sent to me. Like,
Jesus is Lord.
I just said that I'm done, and look at like, and now I'm like, oh no, she's the girl from the but and I remember you were dressed like this. And she was like, yo, how you remember all these details? I'm like, well, now we have the number. Next day we're going to the movies. We watch a movie. The whole movie we're actually talking. And at a point she's like, I haven't been to the movies in a whole year. And I'm like, in a whole year? Well, how come? And she's like, oh, my last time I went to the movies was with my ex-boyfriend. I said, but a whole year? So like, what you mean? You didn't have a boyfriend for a whole year? And she's like, oh yeah, me, I'm done. Boyfriends, I'm done. Like, yeah, it was my first, and I think that was the last because I'm done. Oh.
Non, là, c'est fini, t'es même plus dans l'eau. Là, t'es déjà sur le bateau.
Là, le poisson est comme ça. Oh. And là, le poisson sort de l'eau tout seul. Là, la canne à pêche n'a même pas fait. Là, tu sors de l'eau.
Elle t'a juste fait t'es sorti de l'eau.
Now I'm like, so wait a minute, but what happened with your boyfriend? And she's like, oh, one day I came home and I found him with a girl behind her levrette. They were fucking in my living room. And since then I was done. And me, I'm like, oh.
Aïe, aïe, aïe. Douleur.
Let me show you true love. Viens sous mon aile. Il fait chaud.
Attends. Yes, let me ask you a question. And Natalie, and it's not a fun thing, but have you ever had to experience that kind of thing where you caught a man, you were young or whatever, cheating on you? Have you ever caught any of the men you were with cheating on you?
You know what?
Oh
like
my
live? No, but yes. Like the next day I came into the room.
Attends, je mets juste le micro. Voilà, c'est bon, voilà. Elle est partie, ok.
That's the weapon of mass destruction.
Yes, a chien.
You see the face you do? That's absent.
This is how you're doing it, huh? Okay, I see. No, but like, yes, it wasn't like I opened the door and I saw it live, but I do remember like being on a trip with a guy that I liked, that we were seeing each other, but anyway, you know what, I was just very naive and very like I just believed what I was told, and I went to the bathroom and there was a lipstick there that was not mine, and I was like,
all right, okay,
2 and 2 here is not making anything that I'm happy with, and I'm like, what is this? And my answer was literally, oh, a lipstick. And I'm like, but it's not mine. Yeah, somebody must have just come to put it on last night at the party. And I'm like,
what an answer.
No, but you know what the thing is? Some men will make you believe that you're being paranoid. Come on,
you're crazy.
How could I do that? We were all downstairs at the party. There's no way I could do that.
You're disappointing me. You're doubting me.
And then now you start feeling like, oh, am I being too much? Am I this? No, like men and women, you have instinct. If that little light is tingling,
always listen to it.